100. Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the brakes and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a mission. Go. Okay, let's get it.
Situated in the scenic Irish Hills region of southeastern Michigan, SnB is ready to grid up for 80 laps. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Matt Sisler for the Adrian Advertisement Agency 160 at Michigan. Matt, how you doing out there?
I'm doing pretty well. Happy to be home again. Love this racetrack. One of the best that I've done, and I promise that's not just me being a homer. I genuinely love racing here, so it'll be interesting to see how our drivers handle it for 160 miles tonight.
I agree. I think it's going to be a wild one. I mean, it's always a lot of action out here, but you know what I'm going to say next. We have driver spotlights tonight, so we need to get those started. We're going to welcome to the booth pilot of the number 77, Austin Mitty, and Evan Adams, driver of the number 3 for Dart Motorsports. Good evening, gentlemen. How you guys doing out there?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm ready for tonight. I love it out here. I'm a little jealous I'm not going to be on track with you guys, but hey, booth is the best place to be to watch the action, so I'm good.
Oh, for sure.
All right, we're going to get started with the questions. The first one is going to be, what is one word to describe Michigan International Speedway? And we're going to start with Austin.
See, this was the question you told me before. One that I was like struggle with low key. I don't know why. It might sound corny, but I think it's really racy. But like, I would say racy probably because everybody's gonna hog on the outside. You're gonna dive bomb. You're still on side by side and stuff. So
yeah, I agree. It is racy. All right, Evan, what about you? What is one word to describe Michigan International Speedway?
I believe it's air for me. It's going to be key for track position. You're allowed to see a lot of two tires just get out front. And qualifying is even more important at Michigan. So, yeah, air.
Great word. And dirty air is going to be huge for you guys tonight for sure. All right, next question. Overall, who do you feel has been your biggest competition? And we're going to start with Evan.
This might sound lame, but I think myself. Had a bad week last week, just not enough practice. So need to time that up for giving myself a chance in the playoffs here to get into the playoffs.
Nice. And you told me a couple of times that you've raced this track, and it sounds like we might be expecting you up here up front. So I'm excited to see what you can do for sure.
Hopefully.
All right, Austin, what about you? Who do you feel has been your biggest competition?
man, I feel like there's a lot of people, but I mean, do I have to say this one person or?
You say whatever you feel.
I don't know. I feel like all those like Francis, Jimmy, like all those guys that be dominating, like Brendan, Tristan. Those are the guys I'm trying to beat because I feel like I moved myself up a little bit where I can stay up there race with them. But those guys, it's hard, especially Jimmy. Jimmy too hard. That dude, he's just like real life Denny Hamlin or something. He fast every week.
They are definitely incredibly fast. So I feel you on that. And Evan, you are not the only one to say yourself. So you are not the first for sure. So I can see both those answers. All right. Next question. Are you team socks or no socks when you drive? And we're going to start with Austin.
Socks for sure. I've tried no socks before. It feels like, I don't know, it feels weird. It's like walking on like a bridge like barefoot. It's like, I don't know, I can't do it.
It's just not right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Evan, what about you? Socks or no socks?
No socks.
No socks.
Oh,
Wow, that's
nah.
Man,
crazy.
I
Yeah.
completely feel the opposite. It feels like socks is like I could get sweaty and I'm on ice with the
Wow.
socks.
Yeah.
So
You're
yeah, I
yeah,
just feel
you
like I have
kind
no
of feel.
control.
I don't get it. I have to have socks. I just think it's it just feels weird to me. But hey, if it works, it works.
Mhm.
All right, what is one thing we don't know about you? And we're gonna start with Evan.
So non-NASCAR related, I was pretty good at basketball in high school.
Oh,
So
dang. All right.
yeah,
Very nice.
I
Basketball
don't.
player.
Yeah.
All right, Austin, what about you? What's one thing we don't know about you?
I was thinking about this one hard because I don't know, because a lot of I don't know, like for you guys specifically, like, um, I would say this was hard for me. Maybe like I got a really big brain when it comes to NFL. I know I can name
Mhm.
everybody on the Giants roster from like the depth chart, everything like that. I don't know. I'm a real big football head.
Who's your
Big
favorite
NFL
team?
fan. The Giants.
Giants.
OBJ back to the Giants. Yep.
Fair enough.
OBJ back.
All right, and final question for you guys. This is from Jimmy Cocker last week. Do you have any pre-race rituals? And we're gonna start with Austin.
Yeah, I do. Well, about like 8:05, 8:10, like right now. Usually, pour me a couple shots. I drink Miller Lite, so I got like 2 Miller Lights on my desk. Sometimes I can't finish, not even just one. Sometimes it go green, so that's why I like the cautions, the chillax and stuff. I always gotta have two Millers on my desk, take a couple shots, so I get warmed up, ready to go.
That's fair enough. I just don't want too many cautions tonight, Austin.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
not
yeah,
hope
yeah.
for too
I'll
many.
be,
We'll
I'll be
know,
like,
we'll know why.
We'll know why. Yeah, exactly. All right, Evan, what about you? Do you have any pre-race rituals?
None that I can think of that are that unique, but probably just talking strategy with my dad. But
I like
yeah, I'm
it.
pretty lame when it comes to that.
That is not lame, sir. That gets you a win if you do it right. All right. I do have to ask you guys, do either one of you or both of you have a question for our next week's drivers?
I have one.
Okay. What do you got?
Listening to music while you race. I don't, but I know other people do that, and I don't know how they do that with the attention,
I like that
concentration.
question. Yeah, for sure. That's a good one. That's a good one. Austin, do you have one for next week's drivers?
I'm not gonna lie, I thought I thought really hard about one, but not one that doesn't sound corny. Like I don't know like what's been asked already, but
Yeah,
um
we'll
that's
go with
like
that then.
semi NASCAR related. I don't know. I was just gonna say, who's your favorite NASCAR driver of all time? I don't know if that's NASCAR.
It has
Only one
not.
I could really think of. Okay. I'll use that
Well,
one
we'll go with it then. I love it.
then.
All right, that is going to be it for the pre-race interviews. It was awesome getting to chat with you guys. I wish you luck, and like I was telling Evan before we started the stream here, we have finished 1-2 for our past few weeks in the pre-race interviews. So knock on wood, hopefully we'll see that again tonight.
All right.
Might be a low chance that for me, but we'll try.
Thank you, guys.
All right, good luck to you guys. Take it easy.
Good, thanks.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, we're going to try to get these guys back to where they want to go. Austin, I'll put you down to yours over here. Matt, what do you think we're going to see tonight? I think it's going to be a kind of a crazy race. I'm looking forward to it, but man, oh man, I would not be surprised to see 3 and 4 wide. How about you?
Definitely not with what we saw on Sunday. If art imitates life, with this being iRacing, we did go here last weekend, so if art imitates life, we're going to get some 3 and 4 wide action a lot of times on starts and restarts, and maybe it'll start to funnel out single file and then see the momentum game that we see here at Michigan so much. So should be interesting.
I agree. I predict that tonight, if we don't see any cautions, I think we're going to just see one pit stop for these drivers. I mean, you can get 45 or so laps on a tank here, so I think we'll be good to go with that. I think it's just all about speed. If we are caution free, that's the whole thing. But as far as the speeds here, I think in qualifying we're going to see a 38 high ones or twos. We're going to have to find out, but qualifying will be starting soon. But before we get to that, I do want to bring up the points before we go here. take a look at these points. Jimmy Cocker in the lead. He's got 274 points here. Thomas Harmon, 258, sitting P2. Francis Hamilton, he's got 227. Tristan Helf in 4th. And Brody Folliker, he moved up 4 positions from last week's points. He's sitting P5 with 214. So you can see throughout the field, there's a lot of close battles out there. It's pretty exciting to watch.
Best points battles the start of year that we've had that I can remember. We've had multiple winners, guys and it's not like we've had multiple drivers running away with it. Like we haven't had our Tyler Reddick moment yet, where we have somebody with 4 wins and everybody's stuck on 1 or 2. We have like 4 drivers with 1 win each. We have a couple who've gotten multiple, but there's really not been a clear favorite yet.
I agree. And something interesting for tonight, though, I have heard that some of these drivers might be shifting. We've seen that quite a bit this season, and I'm kind of thinking once we get a few laps in here at Michigan, we might see some drivers shifting, trying to keep that momentum up, but we'll soon find out, definitely.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to run here this week during AFIX or NISs because I had other stuff to do. I actually did a 24-hour race at Le Mans with a team over the weekend. I know my friend Matthew Gale also did one, and both of them, I'm pretty sure he was more exhausted than I was. He only had a 3-man team for 24 hours.
Oh my gosh.
4. I had 4, and I was more exhausted at the end of it.
I bet. That's crazy. How did it go for you guys?
Our team got up near the podium a couple times. We ended up finishing, my team finished 9th in our split. I think Gales actually got on the podium. We were both running GT3 cars, so it was really happy for Gale. Glad for his team to do that. Glad our team had a top 10 because we could have finished pretty far back if we had a few more issues, but it was good for our team to get a top 10.
Fantastic. That's awesome. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're here in qualifying, guys. We've made it, and we're on board with Jordan McGraw. We'll see what kind of lap time he gets. You saw him almost get a little loose coming off a pit lane trying to make it onto the track, but he was one of the first ones out. We also have Dakota Wilkins. Let's go on over to him. We'll see what these guys get for lap times. We have Doug Lockrow, a couple of new drivers out here. Nick Tarana. We see him out here in the 10 machine. Rob Rossello in the 9 car. Luke Allen. Kind of curious. I think a lot of these guys, do you think we're going to see any driver on the high side trying to make that fast lap, or will we see them all go to the bottom, Matt?
From what I know, you probably want to be on the bottom, but you can really warm up your tires with running the high sides in 1 and 2, or on the opening lap. You can really build up momentum, especially coming off turn 4. But we'll have to see with some of these drivers over the lap, because I remember the fast way around Auto Club, which is a very similar track, was to go high in 1 and 2 and then rip the bottom in 3 and 4. So we'll just have to see. Absolutely.
Jordan McGraw gets on the board, 38.3. We have Dakota Wilkins with a 38.506 P2. Doug Lockrow going to be in 3rd. Nick Tarana 4th. And Craig Meyer going to go to P4 with Nick Tarana going to 5th. And Rob Rossello in 6th. So times are coming aboard here. And we have a lot of 0.5. So I was a little off in what I'm thinking, but we'll see if they get any lower on their second laps. But so far, it looks like Jordan McGraw going to hold out the fastest. And what's interesting is when I talked to him, he said, I did a race here before and I was one of the slowest. Looks like that's going to be the opposite tonight.
Indeed, nearly down into the 38.2s at 0.303. Very impressive run for Jordan, and I believe he did that on his first lap, so that's interesting as well. And there it goes. Tristan Helf dips into the 2.2s.
Yeah, he goes 293, and Brendan Book is going to be a 38.315. So very, very close lap times out here. I'm just curious how it's going to pan out in the race. I think these guys are going to be on top of each other for a while, but Gaining position is going to be very, very difficult once these guys get moving. They're going to have a lot to contend with. Dirty air, going 3 and hopefully not 4 and 5 wide, but hey, we may see it out here.
Indeed. Again, Michigan's wide enough where you can do it comfortably almost everywhere, I would say. You can pretty much hold it 4 wide if the drivers know what they're doing around here. The only place is really corner entry and corner exit. I know that makes up a huge part of the track, but you can do it. The track is wide enough. We've seen it in real life. We've seen it on iRacing countless times where these drivers can and will go 4 wide.
It's so true. And you can see Evan Adams. He's out there. P11. He was one of our driver spotlights. And let's see if we can find Austin Mitty goes straight to the top with a 38.273. And man, I'll tell you what, we've talked about him quite a bit this season. He has gained a lot of speed this season. Really, really fun to watch. He is one of those that I'm saying a win is happening. And like I said, with pre-race interviews going, and we've had some good luck. They've been finishing 1-2. We'll see if that happens tonight.
Indeed. He's definitely had the pace in some of these races. He's been right there, or he's either had the pace and something's gone wrong, or he's had the pace and he's ran out of time to catch a car out front. Before the season's out, I would really not be surprised if we have that 77 car in victory lane.
I agree with you. I'm bored with Brody Folliker. He is out here, and he shifted down to 4th already, and that's in qualifying. So very, very interesting. We're going to see him out here in turns 3 and 4. We'll see if he can get a lap time, but it looks like qualifying should be over any second. So it doesn't even look like he's going to be able to get that time in that he's hoping for. But he gets a P9 with his first lap, 38.439.
Solid enough time on the board. I've got to wonder, was he maybe trying to time it up and didn't quite time it right? There's no worse feeling than knowing like you're gonna be much quicker on lap 2, and then you look up at the clock and you know you're gonna run out like 5 to 10 seconds short of finishing that second lap.
That's so true. Very, very close. But here we go. Austin Mitty on pole in that number 77 machine. He's gonna have Tristan Health to his outside in the 38. Jordan McGraw going to start in row 2 in that 34 car with Brennan Book to his outside. Luke Allen in row 3 in that 7 car with Matt Burgess in the 56. Row 4 is going to have Jose Ruiz in the 23 car with Fortson Poston in the 41. Row 5 is going to be Brody Folliker in the 42 with William B. Roberts in the 71.
Right, starting out the next row, it's Dakota Wilkins and Doug Lockrow, I believe 2 new drivers for Shake and Bake tonight. We got Evan Adams, Craig Meyer rolling from 13th and 14th, Nick Tarana, Matthew Gale 15th and 16th, Rob Rossello and Jacob Zapp going from 17th and 18th, and from row number 10, that's 19th and 20th, Travis Stroney and Josh Cole.
In 21st, we're going to have Steven Maggio. When did he get in here? When did this happen? 22nd is going to be Jimmy Cocker with Thomas Harmon in 23rd. Francis Hamilton going to be 24th. And 25th, we're going to have Joe Berg with John Velocity in 26th. Philip Bridgman 27th with Andrew Sanford 28th. And last but not least is going to be Ryan Robertson in 29th.
Indeed. And he's gridded up too. Steven's gridded up, so I thought he might have pulled a me and accidentally signed up when he was trying to be a spotter or an observer. No, apparently he's gonna go. So be ready for that, because Steven definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. He is a champion here in SnB, so great to see him out here. I know, he contacted me before the season started and said his first race with us would probably be Nashville, if I'm not mistaken, but great to see him out here.
Indeed, very strong competitor here. Longtime guy in Shake and Bake. I believe he's been here for at least a couple of years with you guys, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I only know he's been here well before I got here, because I only ran last season.
All right, these guys are lined up, ready to go for 80 laps here at Michigan International Speedway. It is going to be a fun one. It is going to be fast. and furious. These guys are going to go 3 wide. Hopefully, we might see 4 and 5, but here they are getting ready to go green. Austin Mitty, he's going to be, on pole, ready to go.
Art imitating life already. We got the 77 on the front row. We have the 77 on the front row. We had it on the front row yesterday with Hocevar. Now we have Mitty leading the field to green.
All right, pace car is off. These guys are lined up. We're going green for 80 laps here at Michigan. Let's get it moving.
Green.
Here we go. Oh. Past the start-finish line, these guys are on the move. 2 wide all the way through. These guys look like they're off to a good start now. Look at how much they're already getting bunched up, and we already do have about 3 wide midfield.
I was about to say, let's see how long it takes for them to get 3 wide. If somebody gets really loose out of 2 and staved it, nice job by whoever. I couldn't make that out.
Dakota Wilkins, yeah.
Wilkins, one of the new drivers, a great save. It's really hard. It's really easy to overcorrect when that happens, because these cars like to lose grip, and then when it regrips, it'll snap you back if the wheel's pointed the wrong direction. So good on him to be able to save it. He's going to drop to the tail of the field, but he's still in it, and that's the best he can ask for after that.
Rob Rossello, you can see him out here in the 9 machine sitting P16, but man, oh man, Hornet's Nest. These guys are just on top of each other. Not a lot of places to go. So I spoke to a couple of drivers before the race, and they said, if I'm going to start here out in the rear, I have to have a ton of patience to try to make my way through. But take a look at these leaders out here. Austin Mitty, he's got a couple of hungry drivers behind him, and that is going to be Tristan Helf and Brendan Book, his teammate, who is giving a huge push to his teammate to try to get him to that lead.
Indeed, but don't count out for a moment that Brendan wants to get around that 38. He looked high in 1 and 2, and I thought for a moment he was going to take it 2 wide to the top of the 38, and he doesn't quite go for it yet, although maybe down into 3. Nope, help a little bit too far away. Tries to drop that 38 into clean air below the 77.
You can hear Austin Mitty shifting down into those corners. Doing a great job out here in first. We'll see what kind of tire wear these drivers will be getting. I think after the first several laps, the tire fall off will start to slow down. But man, you really got to watch that dirty air. And Austin is in the best place to make sure that he keeps that car clean and out front.
Indeed, it's such a difficult thing, especially with these Gen 7s. We got a caution on the speedway. Looks like a couple cars further back.
Ooh, looks like Jacob Zaff and Steven Maggio. Not sure if anything else happened, but let's take a look and see what went on. Man, oh man, the 55, 55 and the 51 just make some contact. It's just such tight quarters for these drivers. Let's see if we can get a different view of that.
Yeah, I looked at it from the far chase cam. I don't know. That one's more like a racing incident. Looks like it looks like Steven gets the wall, but really the 55 is still coming up a little bit on corner exit, and just one driver maybe thinking he's clear. Maybe not even that. Maybe he just got tight or loose behind the wake of another car, came up, and Maggio just happened to be there.
Yeah, it's Michigan, it's tight, and sometimes that's just going to happen.
Yeah, and it looks like both drivers get away with little to no damage. Like, Maggio maybe a bit of scraping on the right side, and the 55 maybe has a little bit of nose damage from getting turned into the wall. Be interesting to see if we have any takers to pit road. Like we were talking about fuel mileage, Eliza. It was about 48 laps. You could play some strategy and maybe hope you can run it a little long. You can't make it yet, obviously, but
right.
Maybe somebody plays a little bit of strategy trying to run very long and hope for a fortuitous caution.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty sure if you pit around lap 30, you should be good to go for the rest of it. They might, try to do the opposite of it. We'll see what happens. But I can't imagine couple of the guys in the back that they would stay out. I would think they would start to go in. We got Matthew Galen, Stephen Maggio, Craig Meyer, Joe Berg, Dakota Wilkins, Jacob Zaff, and Andrew Sanford, all drivers that went into pit lane. So 23 onward, they went in.
Yeah, and Matthew Gale from 13th looked like he had a little bit of front end damage on that number 67 Camry. Don't know if that's just a cosmetic. It's so difficult now with iRacing, isn't it? Where, like, you see this type of damage that previously, you know, would only be, oh, he bounced off the wall kind of hard. And in reality, it's just your spotter tells you, you know, you're fine. Right? Like, I'm sure
Right.
you've had this, Eliza, recently,
yeah.
where, especially with the, I know we don't run them, but with the new Rams in the truck series, where they'll get phantom door damage, and you'll look at that and go, oh no, I have damage. And then you come in, no, there's nothing wrong.
Right.
I can see there's something wrong. It's right there.
Yeah. We'll see if that happens for these guys, but man, oh man. First caution of the night. These guys up front seem to be getting along just fine, but a little chaos in the back. And like I said, that is going to be the hornet's nest from midpoint on. In Michigan, it could be up front. I mean, we saw it in yesterday's race where you're not really safe anywhere. You get loose, you get tight, and your car just reacts in funny ways sometimes. So I think that's what we're seeing here. That was just too close of racing, and off they go.
For Eliza's sanity, I will not bring up who she's referring to. We all know who she's referring to, but I will not bring it up. But yeah, especially with these cars, it was a very huge hit. I'm glad that Christopher Bell is okay, because that was a massive hit to the outside wall. That might have been one of the hardest hits I've seen watching races at Michigan. I mean, just the angle was that I know everybody held their breath seeing that hit.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely brutal. I'm just glad they're doing all right, and I know I'm pretty sure Christopher Bell is getting checked out again today for wrist and possible ankle issues. So hopefully everything's going well with him, and we'll get him back on track.
Absolutely. Hopefully he can at least, if he can't run the full distance this weekend, I believe we're at Pocono in the Cup Series. Hopefully he can at least start and get the points for the number 20, because I can understand it. Like Pocono and Michigan and Pocono back to back are two races where you really don't want to have an injury, especially at Pocono. There's a lot of G-forces and a lot of shifting, more so than on pretty much any other oval in the Cup Series.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Oval loosely. For Pocono.
Lights are out on the pace car. We're getting ready to go green. Evan Adams, we're going to go on board with him. He currently sits P10. You can see him right behind that 42 of Brody Folliker as we go off to green once again under Austin Mitty, our leader. But Evan Adams, you can see these guys on top of each other trying to get every inch of the track that they can. Once they're past the start-finish line, they can move to another line. So there they go.
Yep, already once again 3 wide about mid-pack. Definitely the hornet's nest. You want to be, Austin Mitty is in like the perfect spot right now. No dirty air, no problems from that. No issue with traffic at all out front. He's just in such a comfortable spot, and it's so underrated with this car and having it clean air to dirty air, and you don't realize it either, because you can work through the pack for the entire race in dirty air, think you know how your car drives, find yourself in clean air, and then, this is different. It nearly feels like your setup changes completely being in the clean air.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, it's two different cars that you have to figure out how to drive here, and Austin knows how to do this, but if Brendan Book, who is right behind him, if he gets out to the lead, how's Austin Mitty going to handle that dirty air? But right now, it is not an issue, but Luke Allen trying to go fight for third with Tristan Helf, and man, I saw William Roberts fall back a little bit. Looks like he is all right. We got Jordan McGraw right next to him. Let's take a look throughout the field, but these guys still 2 wide. I'm not sure that I see any 3 wide here, but man, oh man, still on top of each other. And take a look at that diagonal line that's going to be around P17. These guys are on top of each other.
Absolutely, they are. It's drivers just trying to get everything. You're trying to find even a sliver of clean air. Like, even I ran the trucks here. You wanted, oh, we got a spinner down
Yellow.
pit road off turn 4 into the barrels.
So what you got going on out there,
Ooh,
bud?
I
that's
don't know
going to
if
be
that's
Ryan
gonna be-
Robertson. Let's take a look.
Oh, yep, caution.
You can see car gets right into his quarter panel. I'm not sure if there was who was moving up or down, but man, he goes right into the barrels there.
And that's unfortunate. Like, if he could have kept like, that's one time where you almost want to stand in the gas when you're spinning like that towards pit in at Michigan. It's a much more narrow pit entry than you would expect. If he could have lit the rears up, he could have probably skidded down pit road and avoided a lot of damage. Unfortunately, hard into the pit barrels at the end of pit road.
Yeah, Ryan Robertson got to be a little frustrated with that. Gonna have to repair some damage. Hopefully we'll see him back out on track, and let's see if he's in chat to talk to, but we'll try to get a chat with him. Ryan, it's Eliza from the booth. How you doing out there?
Well, I was moving through the field, but I just did my best Mark Martin impression, hit the wall with the side of the car.
How's the damage looking? Will we see you out there again soon?
No, we're done.
You're done. Oh man, hate to hear that. Yeah, you had a lot of speed out there. How was that dirty air?
I was trying to keep my nose clean for the most part. I didn't feel it too bad. But you could tell for a lot of other guys, they were pushing in the corners pretty bad. I
Right.
imagine that was probably the cause of the first wreck.
Yeah, probably. Man, so unfortunate to see, but hopefully we'll have a different story for you next week at Pocono.
Yep, appreciate it.
All right, do you want to go back to what chat were you in?
I was in, I think, the Independence chat.
Okay, I'll get you back there. Good talking with you.
Yep, appreciate it.
All right, you heard it there from Ryan Robertson. Unfortunately, that is going to be the end of the night for him. Man, it's just so close, and that is twice we've seen Steven Maggio involved. That's 2 for 2 cautions here, so really unfortunate to see. First race out with us, and I'm not sure he's having a blast yet.
Yeah, I mean, what a track to make your debut at. You come to Michigan, where, again, deceptively difficult track. But you got plenty of room, but that's also plenty of room to make a mistake. And especially when we have 30 drivers in here, it almost races when they start to get spread out. It starts to race like a plate race where you need to be in the preferred line, because if you're not, you're losing spots.
Yeah, that's the tough part, and you're just so on top of each other, and you kind of do have to be aggressive, and sometimes those two collide, and that's just what we get here. And when you're pushing up, as Ryan says, sometimes there's just nothing you can do about that. But you can see some cars coming off the pit lane there. Brendan Book will be the lead coming off of this caution here. He's going to take the outside. Fortson Poston going to be on the inside. Austin Mitty, who was leading, he's going to be P4.
And now we are going to see, right, if that 77 is as good in the dirty air as it is in the clean air. I mean, it's such a big deal at Michigan just because of the high rate of speed, the closing rates. We saw it a lot in the Cup Series on Sunday. Guys would close from a couple tenths back, get in the wake going into a corner, and then their car would just absolutely refuse to turn. So we'll just have to see how these guys handle it.
You said it there. Pace car lights are out, so we will go back to green this time around. Fortson Poston, he's going to have to keep his eye on Brendan to see when he is going to make his restart. He can go inside the box at any moment, so Fortson's going to have to be on it. Brendan Book taking that outside. That's going to give him the lead and a nice jump off on that restart.
And the preferred line, like, I know you want the bottom, especially with these tires kind of going through heat cycles of getting warmed up a little and cooling down. You kind of want the bottom to get the shortest line, but if you get the jump on the outside line, you can carry more momentum. So we'll just have to see as we get ready to go back to green.
Green flag.
Here we go, going across the start-finish line. These guys 2 by 2 all the way through. They make it on Brendan Book going to be still on that high side, making some contact between the 77 and the 42. Man, already very, very close. I want to see a green flag run for a while, so let's get this one moving. Lap 14 of 80.
Indeed, and a bit of a problem. I don't know what happened to the
huge
38
problem.
of Tristan Health, and he's around and collected Andrew Sanford. No caution yet. 38's sitting stationary on the back straightaway. He slowed a lot off of turn 2. I don't know what happened with him. He's sitting there. Sanford drove away. The field's charging through towards turn number 1. Health now getting it refired and turning it around. Not sure exactly what happened. He slowed a ways down, and then I don't know if he had a steering issue or it looked like Sanford spun to avoid him, and I think Steven Maggio, who was back there, got a piece of it, and Maggio's had to come to pit road. Yeah, and that right front on the 51, it doesn't look like it's pointing in the same direction as the rest of the car. That's unfortunate.
Man, what a wild race. Yeah, as you said, Tristan Health was a lot slower than the rest of the field. He moved on up to get back out on track, and that just caused a huge amount of chaos back there. No caution, unbelievably, but Brendan Book out in the lead still. Fortson Poston in second. Luke Allen in third. Brody Folliker up 5 spots to P4. Austin Mitty sitting P5, and Evan Adams, our other driver spotlight, he is P6.
He's right behind him, so they're running 5th and 6th right now. Jordan McGraw currently sitting in the 7th position, a few car lengths behind the 3. He's chased closely by Jose Ruiz in 8th, Thomas Harmon in 9th, and Rob Rossello and Josh Cole fighting over the 10th position.
Looks like Matthew Gale's going to be about 13th, Josh Cole in 12th, Nick Tarana 13th, Jimmy Cocker 15th, John Velocity. Ooh, some close racing right there. That was a little sketchy. I'm trying to see who that was. It's going to be Nick Tarana, almost up into Matthew Gale as they're coming out of that exit there. Francis Hamilton, he is going to be in 23rd, but take a look. Who has taken over the lead? It's going to be Fortson Poston.
Great move, a power move to the inside. He went all the way down trying to get away from the 5, but I think the 5 got a little bit of help from that 7 car of Luke Allen. Fortson tried to drive it in deep, but Brendan's going to be able to roll that top, carry the momentum. He might clear him off the corner. No. Fortson, a great corner through 1 and 2 to stay on him.
Yeah, usually that high side just gets an insane amount of momentum, but here's the other part too. That push, when you're on the bottom, when you're trying to get off that exit, it does push your car up. But man, Fortson, I don't know what he's doing, but a little bit of contact between the 41 and the 5. These guys going side by side. Fortson just nose to nose with Brendan, and Luke Allen, he's already given some help to that 5, and he's going to move down behind the 41.
He's trying to figure out where to go because I guarantee you, he wants to lead. He can see it as Brendan finally gets around the 41 of Fortson Poston. Luke was probably hoping they'd stay side by side. Maybe he could do what Denny Hamlin did midway through, towards the end of yesterday's Cup race and take them 3 and make the clear while they're side by side. But Brendan Book back out front here at Michigan by a couple car lengths.
Lap 20 of 80, these guys, they're in a single file line for our first several drivers. Let's take it through the field and see if these guys are the same in the rest of the field. They're about 2 wide all the way back, starting in about 10th place. So these guys trying to still get those positions, and it's going to be very difficult with that dirty air. I mean, once you think you have a run, if you have that dirty air, that is absolutely going to tighten you up and not make things real fun.
For sure. Again, like we said earlier, Cup Series, we saw it. And the truck, even in the trucks to a lesser extent, we saw it. And having done a few truck races last week here, I know for a fact, like, you can carry so much momentum, but the instant, it was so imperative for me when I was trying to follow another truck that you needed to keep like at least half your truck kind of in clean air either side, just to give a little bit more turn, just so you could stay with that guy, because if you didn't, you just lost so much more momentum, more momentum, and these Gen 7 cars are so much more sensitive to it than the trucks.
Yeah, very, very dependent on clean air. Just otherwise, you're in for a ride. But take a look at Brendan Book, still in first. He's got Fortson directly behind him. Brendan does have a win this season. However, he has struggled in these races. I know for several races he has been wrecked out or wrecked himself out. We'll see how it goes tonight. I know he would love another win. More importantly, I know he would love to finish this one.
Indeed, and his one, I mean, it's not like if he spins, he doesn't win. He had, I think, 3 spins at Bristol, and that's his race where he won, so
Well,
he
that's
can
true.
do it. but but I know he'd love to keep that 5 car, have its nose stay in the wind from now to the end of the race. And if we do get green flag pit stops, Eliza, it's gonna be interesting because how long do some of these drivers take it? Some of these drivers who pitted as well, they'll have more fuel. Do they pit with everyone else, knowing they can take less fuel on board, and then try to go, or do they run it like I said earlier? Do they run it as far as they can, hoping they get a good caution where they can come back out on track ahead of where they were running previously?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how their strategy differs from each other. But take a look at our top 3 drivers trying to do a 3-man breakaway. But Brody kind of fallen off our top 2. We'll see what happens with that. But Austin is going to lead this next pack. He has Luke Allen behind him in that 7. Thomas Harmon, who has gained 17 spots here tonight so far. He sits P6 with Josh Cole in 7th. Up 13 spots, and Jimmy Cocker up 14 spots, sitting P8.
Yeah, and for sure, but Thomas running, I think he's got that JGR, he's got whatever Denny Hamlin had in his car yesterday, because he's gone from basically the back of the field up to the top 6 and looking for the top 5, driving that number 18 Toyota, reminiscent of Kyle Busch's schemes. That's the first thing I remember or thought of when I saw that brightly colored 18 car out there.
Yeah, after Kyle Busch passed, he just said that he wanted to be the 18 and he had to drive that car. So I've never known Thomas to drive a different number other than the 68. So, this was big for him. It definitely affected him, and he's out there driving that 18, and man, he's driving it like Kyle Busch, taking it up through the field. We'll see what he does tonight, though. He's got a couple of wins this season. He won at Charlotte and also Las Vegas.
Indeed, and we'll see if he can't do it in a Toyota. You're talking about different number other than 68, Eliza. I don't think I remember him driving something other than a Chevrolet. He may have. I don't remember him not. And he's out here in a Toyota Camry, and it took me a moment to figure that out, who that was in pre-race. Like, wait a minute, that's not an Avril Lavigne Chevy. Where's
right?
Thomas? So, great to see him out there though, as he's trying to work over Luke Allen and get to the top 5, and he clears him, drove it down into 1, and just easily through. And now he's got relatively clean air. It's obviously not completely clean, but he's got relatively clean air as he tries to catch Austin Mitty.
Meanwhile, Brendan Book, he's got about 2/10 over Fortson Poston, and Brody Follick are going to be right behind Fortson, trying to battle it out for that P2 spot. And that's going to help Brendan Book, as he is going to be able to get away if these two continue that battle. I'm hearing a couple of drivers, though, make some contact with the wall as they're coming off the exit. We'll have to keep an eye, but man, take a look at how close they're getting to that wall, especially off the exits.
For sure, and it's such a difficult thing because you need to maximize every car around on the back straightaway. Car hard in the wall on the inside. That's Doug Lockrow. Joe Berg around. Matt Burgess, or no, that's not Matt Burgess. Who's that? Matthew Gale around. Don't know what happened there.
Let's see if we can go back and find out what exactly happened. This is going to be our 3rd caution of the night. Ooh, Matthew Gale coming up top here off that exit. And Nick, I'm not sure there was anywhere to go. Let's back it up and see if we can go a little bit further here.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately, if you're looking at some of the other cars, Doug Lockrow just following behind. I think Doug turned left to try to avoid, and then the problem is with this car, the instant it starts to get loose, it grips and it takes you just wherever it wants to go when it does. And it was just collision course to the inside wall. When he turned left, it just went left.
Man,
I don't think he hit
man.
anything either. And unfortunate, I think his night is done. That was a pretty hard contact to the inside wall. And definitely didn't look, definitely not intentional from Gale. He probably it looked to me like he got tight underneath the 10, had to chase it up the hill, and Nick's right there. And it's just unfortunate that, it's the thing of you need so much space. I was about to bring it up as well. Like, there's a reason why the inside line is really not preferred to try to make passes. You have to clear someone, because if you're side by side coming off corner exit, or if they manage to pull you back even with just a quarter panel, you're not going to make the pass. So just because you need all that space to wash out to the wall and carry as much momentum, and just unfortunate for everybody involved there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Doug did a great job trying to miss him, but unfortunately just straight hard into the wall, as you said. Just really, really tough at Nick. He should be good to go with the damage that he did not incur, because he kept it off the wall and he just had a little bit of contact from Matthew Gale. So he should be good to go, but everyone is on pit lane currently. You can see these drivers trying to take those tires, get everything off and running, and we'll see who wins the race off of pit lane.
Absolutely, and it looks like my camera not letting me go to the front.
Yeah, Brendan Book beats him.
But Harmon, great pit stop from that 18 team, getting him out in second. That's big, because he was running fifth. Now he's going to have the front row seat to launch from. That's a great job for him getting on and off pit road and everything. Great job.
Yeah, started 23rd. He's currently in second. That's an incredible drive out here after a third caution. Man, this guy is on a mission. He is wanting this win out here. We'll see what happens, though. Brennan Book, very, very solid. I know he loves this track. Does a great job here. Austin Mitty in third. Luke Allen in fourth. Brody Folliker in fifth. And Rob Rossello, he wasn't sure he could be here tonight, but here he is, and he's sitting P6.
Josh Cole right behind him, I believe. He sits currently seventh. You have Jimmy Cocker right behind him. Jordan McGraw and Fortson Poston. Or Jordan's going to come back down pit road. And I was wondering that, Eliza, if we were going to see anybody else, because I jumped into the test, because obviously for those who don't know, we can spectate in iRacing. You can do test. You can jump in and test if you want. I did, just to take a look at fuel mileage. 48 was what popped up on our thing, and right now we have 50 to go. We'll be going green with, I believe, 49. That is extremely within the range of making it on this. So Jordan topping off gives him just a little bit more, and that might be the difference. And I don't even know if these drivers will have to be like clutching and coasting to make it now. Like, maybe, like, if you're gonna push, you're definitely not making it, because you're still going to be short, and that fuel mileage is going to come down. But if you keep it in fifth, you might get better fuel mileage. We'll just have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, that's going to be a wild one. I know Jordan likes that long run. He's good at it. We had a couple of other drivers pit with him, so we'll see where they come out. I believe William Roberts was one of them. And if I'm not mistaken, Craig Meyer might have been the other. So we'll see where they pan out, but Jordan McGraw comes out 18th as we head into another restart here.
And another guy who likes the long runs and does very well on his fuel mileage is the driver of that 18 car up front. It's Thomas Harmon, and he'll do it in a way that makes you frustrated. I'll explain why once we go back to green, as Brendan Book leads us back to the Your Name Here restart zone. So you sing Geico.
Here we go, Brendan Book. It is on his lead, and he is off and running. You see Thomas Harmon down below. We're going to have Luke Allen behind Brendan Book. Brendan started fourth, currently first, and he has been a strong contender, but take a look Thomas Harmon down below. I'm not sure if he's going to get enough of a run to take over the lead, but man, is he going to try.
Oh, and here comes Luke Allen. How much did I say?
Woo!
3 wide. Luke, he saw the chance, goes to the bottom in 3's not going to clear. They're going to be side by side, coming back to the start-finish stripe, nearly leaning on each other off 4.
Wow. Yeah, contact made. The 7 goes way down below to try to give them some room. You know Brendan is like, what is going on? I need some room here, fellas. But man, oh man, a quick, hard battle for that lead. But Brendan Book, he still holds on to it.
Yeah, he had the top line. He had the best line for carrying momentum. Thomas, I think, had to really be careful with the 7 right on his inside, and we saw what happened. The consequences of not pulling off that pass. If Luke makes that work, he's in the lead, and he's in the lead fairly comfortably. It doesn't work. He loses all that momentum down the front straightaway, and it allows Austin Mitty to blow right by him and actually build a couple car length gap as we come back to start finish.
Yeah, he does have a nice gap, and it seems like the top 3 cars tend to get away here at Michigan, so we'll see if that continues to be the case on this next run. But Josh Cole in 5th, Brody Folliker and 6th and 7th battling it out with Forts and Poston. So these guys trying to get single file line, trying to get their car moving and save maybe a little bit of tire. You can see the 9 car, Rob Rossello, taking it down low underneath that 42. That's going to be for P7.
Yeah, and doesn't pull off the pass, and now we might see, not as much as we used to, especially when we had the Gen 6s, where we would see somebody try it and they'd get freight trained by like 6 or 7 cars on the front straightaway. He only drops back 1 car behind the 87 of Velocity, but he tried to take it down under Brody, didn't complete the pass, and lost a spot for it.
David, I see you out there in chat. I hope you're doing well. If you guys out in chat, if you have a driver you're rooting for, let me know who it is. If you have a guess on who is going to be the winner tonight, let me know. And Matt, I haven't asked you that tonight. Who do you think is going to win?
I was sitting there hoping you weren't going to remember that. It's so difficult to pick it out, isn't it? But yeah. I'm going to take the driver of that 18 Toyota, Thomas Harmon. He's been flying up here, and you can never bet against Thomas. Because I've said it how many times I think I've said it at least once every broadcast when he's been here. Don't count him out just because he chooses to start at the back of these fields, because he will come up here, and if you give him half a chance, he will take it and he will drive away.
Yeah, he's out here in the lead, made a pass over Brennan Book. He is absolutely flying, but I got to go with you. I'm with Thomas Harmon, but I want to see Austin Mitty. I want to see him get that win. He's currently sitting P3. He's right there. So incredibly close. It is not over yet. 37 of 80. We still have a lot of race left in us, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely we do. And again, the fuel mileage situation, as much as we harp on dirty air, right now, you don't necessarily mind that dirty air as much, just because if you're trying to squeak out an extra half a lap of fuel, if you're that close, you want to be in the toe of somebody else. You don't want to be the car breaking that air in the front of the pack. And right now, Brendan is tucked up behind Thomas, just trying to make it work down into turn 1.
Yeah, you can see these guys. Ooh,
loose.
A little wobble from that 5 car. You can see he's a lot loose getting off that exit there. The 77 probably a little nervous behind him. We have Josh Cole in that 43, up 17 spots, and he's going to be right underneath Brendan Book. So these drivers very, very close, and here comes that 41, so don't count him out either.
Life imitating, what have I been saying? Life imitating art. We have a JGR Toyota at the front, and if the 43 clears it, it'll be the 43 Toyota chasing.
How about that?
Josh Cole, that Eric Jones legacy Toyota, to the inside looking for the lead, but here comes Brendan Book back on the outside. Thomas has got to cover the top. He does off of 2.
Man, oh man, a lap 39, and these guys are racing like it's the final one. That 5 car all over the back bumper. He's going to get a little tight as he is right behind that 18, so he's going to lose a little bit of time. The 41 comes up underneath that 5 car. and they're in a 2-wide battle right behind our leader of that 18 machine, Thomas Harmon.
Yep, and now they start to kind of tuck back into line, running in a 5-car pack at the front. Nobody really breaking away at this stage. We've run about 6 or 7 laps. We're gonna get to that point where if you've abused these tires early, it will start to come back to haunt you. So we'll just have to see who's pushing and who's saving. Ooh, contact with 41 in the 5 going into 3.
Yeah. Brennan Book gives a nice little nudge to that 18, but the 41 is going to move up and kill the momentum in that 5 machine. So the 41 going to take over that second spot. Brennan Book in third. Austin Mitty side by side with Josh Cole in that 43. Right behind them, it's going to be P6 in 7th. Rob Rossello and Brody Folliker side by side. Ooh, so close coming off that exit.
Absolutely. You couldn't get a piece of paper in between the 43 and the 77 when they ran down the front straightaway. Good job by Josh to slide that Toyota up in front of Austin, take over the 4th spot. We got about 10 cars, I'd say, within about 2 seconds of each other. That's the lead pack right now, as we have a challenge for the lead up front.
Yeah, let's take a look. Thomas Harmon and Fortson Poston, these two side by side. We're going to have Fortson Poston with that high side momentum. Now, can he keep it? Past tells us that he's going to be able to, but Thomas Harmon, he is tough out here. So we'll see what happens in the couple of laps here. But the 18 going to be in that second spot. Fortson Poston, new leader.
Yep, just carry the momentum off the corner. Thomas probably maybe not pushing as hard as we've seen, because we've seen guys on the bottom when they really decide to throw the car in there, even with tires with a few laps on them, they've been able to stay with guys on corner exits surprisingly well, but not this time. 41 to the lead, 18 dropping that car to the bottom, trying to just get in clean air. And again, oh, Harmon loose. That's uncharacteristic from Thomas to have a little bit of a mistake on corner exit. Good job to save it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Is he going down into 4th here? Because I'm hearing a lot of drivers who are going down into 4th, which he is not here. But I know that low line it can get loose. And if you're going down to 4th quite a bit, your car tends to get loose in the long run. So we'll see what happens here. But very interesting.
Indeed, and the problem is that bottom line will catch you out. Any car really here at Michigan, it's such a, like, you want that line for the clean air, especially when you're in a pack like Thomas is right now. But but I've experienced it, especially in these Gen 7s. You hit corner exit going over those seams. The car really does not like it, especially on the exit. Turns 3 and 4, not so much, but really on the exit of turn 2, the car does not like it. And it can do exactly what it just did to Thomas, where it'll just start to snap loose.
Our top 12 drivers and a huge pack out here, single file line. Take a look at that train as they start to fan out here. But Nick Tarana going to lead this second group, and he's going to have Matt Burgess directly behind him. That is for 14th and 13th. Andrew Sanford is going to be in 15th, Jose Ruiz 16th, Philip Bridgman 17th, Francis Hamilton 18th, Jordan McGraw 19th, and Joe Berg going to round out your top 20 in this pack.
Yeah, and just behind them, Matthew Gale running in 21st, Craig Meyer 22nd, Dakota Wilkins 23rd, William Roberts a bit further off the pack. Not sure if he had an issue, but he's currently out there in P24. And Tristan Health, he had damage from that early incident. He's currently the first car 1 lap down, running in 25th.
Yeah, that's going to be a long, lonely ride when you're by yourself. No draft. You're just going to lose time and time, which is not what you want to see. He's hoping for a caution, but take a look. We're going to have Rob Rossello go out underneath Fortson Poston for the lead here. We'll see if he can hold that off, or will Fortson have that momentum? No, it looks like Rob is going to take over that lead. Another new leader here.
Yeah, great job by Rob. Just put it to the bottom. And he committed as well. Like, we've seen it where drivers will not commit, and it gets them in trouble when they clear. They sit there for a moment. I know I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you are as well, Eliza, where you clear, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should get up in time, and then by the time you decide to try to get up, the door's shut. Good job by Rob. Gets up in front of the 41, blocks that momentum as the 43 now takes over second.
Yeah, Fortson Poston moves back to third. Brendan Book is in fourth. Brody Folliker in fifth. And our pole sitter is going to be seventh. He's got Jimmy Cocker, who he said is one of his biggest competitors. He's going to be in sixth, right in front of him. So we'll see how this goes. But Rob Rossello, he is enjoying that clean air out there. And we'll see what kind of dirty air Josh Cole is feeling as he is right there, P2.
It's not, and as you get closer and closer to the front, the dirty air, it can start to, like, the effect dissipates because you don't have as many cars throwing up wakes in front of you that can cause problems. So you only have one car that you have to keep your nose clear of the air off of, and right now it's just the 9, and we'll see if Josh decides to try to go for the lead here in turn 1. Got a big run off of 4, keeping the nose. Looks like, I think he'll stay in line, but he's kind of doing what I said, you know, where you want to keep your car as much in the clean air as possible, because even crossing the wake is so difficult. We heard AJ Allmendinger yesterday after he had a spin out of turn 2 in real life in the Cup Series race, upset with, you know, cars and with wake. It's such a problem even in the real life Gen 7.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and you can see these cars going diagonal, trying to get that clean air through the corners. The 9 car was the lowest, the 43 in the middle, and the 41 was taking the high side. We'll see if they do that again through turns 1 and 2. And it looks like they are. You can see them just trying to go for that clean air and keep that nose out there doing what it needs to do to try to gain some time on the guy in front of them. But besides that, on the straights, these guys are going single file line, just trying to get that draft in the straightaways.
For the most part, yeah. As Brody Folliker dropped it under the 77 of Austin Mitty, but he didn't complete the pass in turn 3, and Mitty with the momentum up high, and he's gonna clear him. And that's the thing with this package at Michigan. We are hitting 200 miles an hour before we get into turn 1. And if you don't, like I said, you don't complete that pass, you are a sitting duck for cars behind you. And Brody suffered the consequences there as Travis Stroney, haven't talked about him much, pulled the slingshot and got by the 42.
Take a look at this line going down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4, single file all the way through. We have a couple of stragglers back there. Not a fun place to be, but they are together at least. But Rob's still in the lead. Josh Cole in second, Fortson in third, Jimmy Cocker in fourth, and Brennan Book in fifth. But man, oh man, we're getting a nice green flag run here. I don't want to jinx it. Lap 52 of 80. Still quite a bit of racing left, but I'm kind of curious. Are we going to see another pit stop for the majority of these drivers here?
That depends, and that's what's really interesting, and I know people always begrudge it. You see the discourse on Twitter, you see the discourse on social media when there's a fuel mileage race. It's because it's boring. It's, as somebody who's both won and lost races on mileage, it is tense as heck inside these race cars.
It is.
Because you're having to balance so much, especially, I'd argue it's easier to do when you're about 8th or 9th or 10th, because you're not fighting for the lead. Like Rob Rossello right now, he's trying to pull that gap out, but he's breaking the draft for everyone else, even for Josh Cole, who's now about 5 car lengths back. It's so much more difficult compared to like a guy like, say, Thomas Harmon, who looks like he's about 8th, where you're not actively trying to make passes. You're riding in the pack. You're using that wake off the cars in front just to save fuel. And we saw Thomas, when we were on board with him, not shifting. That's another way where you will save fuel. And we were really close on fuel, Eliza. We were at about 49 laps when we went green, and I saw 48 earlier when I jumped in the car for a moment.
Yeah.
It could, like, and of course it's going to come down over a run because these drivers are going to be pushing down to 4th gear, and that's going to kick revs up as Travis Stroney low on the back straightaway. He saves it, but Harmon's in a better spot because he's got so many cars in front of him that he can now save a lot more than even the car each car in front is going to start to save less and less fuel until you get to that one up front that's Rob Rossello right now. So Like, I think you're starting to see that effect here. Everybody trying to run single file as much as possible on the straightaway, and I don't know if that's just it's obviously the fastest way, but it's also the most fuel efficient way. Going side by side, you're gonna burn more fuel.
We'll see what they do. I'm just not sure that they're going to be able to hold out with how much they're running on this. They're going to be able to hold out for the remainder of the race. But hey, you never know. And some of these drivers might be able to. So we'll definitely see. But Rob Rossello still in the lead. He did have about 3/10 over Josh Cole, but he has since reeled him in, and you can see him right there, and it looks like he's going to go underneath, try to get that lead. We'll see if he's able to, but that high side momentum, you know how that story goes, and he is going to hold on to that lead. Josh Cole still P2.
Yep, Rob had a good run up high. Josh, and I'm not, it looked like he was going for the pass. Maybe he was, but also, it's also so imperative to keep the clean air on the nose. Could have just been he wanted out from behind that safety culture Chevy out front. Just get a little bit of clean air. Make sure you keep the tires fresh on that 43 and maybe pounce later in the run. I mean, that's what Eric Jones did yesterday. I mean, he had an insanely good long run car.
You can see behind Josh Cole, these drivers fanning out, trying to find that clean air that Matt was just talking about. But man, this field is starting to really get separated. You can see 24th and 25th just crossing the start-finish line. And meanwhile, our leader here going into turn 3 and 4. So these guys starting to get very well spread out. But man, oh man, let's take a look about midfield. This is going to be P14, Jordan McGraw, right next to his teammate, Jose Ruiz, in that 23 car. That's for FTR. He's got Nick Tarana, who was involved in an earlier incident. He's going to be 13th, right in front of Jose.
Absolutely, and the 34 McGraw was one of those cars that they chose to come back down, take a little bit more fuel on. He might be in a little bit better spot to the leaders. We don't know, and we would love to know. Like, we'd love to have the prime graphics with the fuel burn calculator up right now so we could see, you know, is Harmon saving more at the front, or is Rob looking good, or whatever. But the 34 with that extra lap, it's really not much under caution, is it? It's like about 0.3 of a gallon. But 0.3 of a gallon is still going to matter when you're coming out of into turn 3 and your car splutters. You're going to wish you had that extra 0.2, 0.3 of a gallon.
Oh, absolutely. Very frustrating when you run out, and just, I wish I just had a little bit more. So we're just going to have to see how it plays out. But speaking of how it played out, how about last week at COTA? We had Brody Folliker that led the entire race. A fantastic race, and then all the craziness on the final lap, and his teammate Jimmy Cocker wins. So a great race, a wild ending. But man, if you have not seen that one, definitely go back and give it a watch.
I would agree with that. That was probably one of the best road course finishes I've seen, and it was strategy again that kind of played out. It was another strategy call. Brody ran super long and then took fuel only, whereas Jimmy kind of pit around halfway and took 4 tires. And you could just see at the end of the race, the 4 tires mattered so much. The 42 just couldn't get the power down to get away. And then, and we know Jimmy didn't intend to, but Jimmy did move Brody and made for an insanely good finish.
So true. Take a look. We have Evan Adams right next to Thomas Harmon. This is going to be for P9 and P10. Evan Adams is one of our pre-race interview drivers. He has a huge fan of Dale Jr. You can see him driving that 3 machine. He says his dad was a Dale Sr. fan, so you can see him repping that out there. But man, oh man, he's done a phenomenal job out here in the top 10, and I feel like he's had a lot of solid finishes, so we'll see if that continues for him. Rob Rossello, though, still out here in the lead, and man, it looks very interesting as Josh Cole is trying to snag that away from him. He is right underneath. It goes right behind him now, but 41 might give him a little push and see if he can't get back out there in the lead.
Yep, and the 9 went to the bottom. I think Josh wanted to roll the top, wanted to drive it in on the door of the 9, and he just couldn't quite get it to stick. He might have caught the wake of him go on entry, and that just threw him up the track a little. Gave Rob enough of a gap where he could stay in front, but don't want to give guys the outside. Like, if you're gonna do anything for defense, especially here at Michigan, you want that high side, you want the momentum, because if you don't have the momentum, you're going to lose a bunch of spots. I believe Jimmy Cocker under threat from Austin Mitty into 3.
Take a look at that side by side. The 11, Jimmy Cocker, was hugging that bottom seam there, and they're moving up out of that corner. But the 77, he's got that momentum you were just talking about, and I 100% agree. If you're going to try to defend, you gotta take the high side. I mean, that is where the momentum is, especially when you have that draft. It's even just gonna make it that much more. But Evan Adams right behind him, still in 9th. Thomas Harmon in 10th. We saw him leading earlier, and he made it up front, up 13 spots currently. So he had a lot of gains when he was in the lead. But Rob, he's holding on to this, and this is from the driver that said he may not be able to make it tonight. And here he is, leading quite a few laps.
And having a great run right now, because you can lead quite a few laps in Michigan, depending on circumstance. But right now, he's got that thing, the nose in the wind, and he wants to keep it there. And it's, from personal experience, you can keep the nose of your car in the wind and be that first car out front. If you feel confident on fuel, you can stay there for a long time. Maybe not so much at Michigan, but at the smaller intermediates, at the 1.5 miles, it's very, very easy. If you can get that track position, get to the lead, and have the tires, same tires as everyone around you, you can go on and stay out front for ages before somebody can finally take it away.
Let's take a look. Our top 3 drivers with Josh Cole. He's got a little bit of a nose out, so that's going to put him in the lead. But our top 3 drivers are all SnB rookies. How about that? So, Forsen Posen going to go back to 4th. Austin into the wall. Man, oh man, that was rough right there. Hopefully not any damage for him, but great save.
Absolutely, that car snapped on him. Kind of used the wall to save himself, and it doesn't look too bad from what I'm seeing. So, look, he might have got away with it right there. Same with Josef. I mean, again, art imitating life. Hocevar did that off a turn 4 at turn 4 yesterday, although not quite as bad.
Josh Cole still in the lead. Rob Rossello going to be in 2nd. So Josh Cole, we'll see if he is going to lead this next lap. But man, I feel like these guys are getting a little bit tighter again. We have the top 9 or so drivers like right there, and then it really starts to separate after that. But are we going to have another rookie win a race here? We're going to find out. Lap 67 of 80. We still got some time to go, but I'm going through. If we do have a rookie win tonight, it is going to be our first rookie win of this season.
And it's not like the rookies haven't been up there. Fortson Post, I believe, was the runner-up to Brendan Book at Bristol and almost got him there. So the rookies have been right around the front all year long, and it just hasn't quite come together for them. Maybe today at Michigan.
Maybe today at Michigan. And Josh Cole, he started 20th, currently in the lead, crossing the line for another lap led. This guy is fast. He's been behind Rob Rossello, and I know Rob would love to make it up there again. Right now, he may be trying to save those tires. You can see him staying up high, trying to get that clean air, and right behind him, Austin Mitty gonna go behind the same line as that 43. So these guys, I think they're just trying to keep that clean air, trying to do all they can to keep that car moving forward.
For sure, and I've just kept an eye on it. We've had a few takers to pit road, not from anybody up front. I believe Francis Hamilton was one, Nick Tarana another. Oh, in trouble! Brendan Book around into the grass. Is that going to be a caution?
Man, oh man, still spinning. Can he get it going straight? And it is rough in the grass, guys. I can tell you it is hard to get it moving, but we talked about him earlier and how he's been plagued. There it goes. Well, what do you think? Drivers coming down?
I mean, we had what, about a 30-something lap run on these tires?
Oh yeah.
I'm not chancing that.
Yeah, 40
coming
laps
down.
on those tires. I'm going in. I'm going in.
For sure. And I mean, maybe somebody will gamble and take 2 because you don't need a lot of fuel right now, and it's not that far to the end. Maybe you play that, but man, we were getting ready to see that fuel mileage play out. Not quite sure what happened with Brendan there off of 4.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a replay on that and see exactly what happened. Oh, it's gonna go late. Okay. Looks like he's gonna make some contact with the 41 comes down, hits the 5, and off the 5 goes, and he spins like a top through the field. And David, you say that was a bit of a late call for the caution. Absolutely. The thing is, when you're off the track, they're not going to call it because you're off the track, but as soon as he went back on and he's under speed, that's when they're going to call it.
Yeah, and I don't think Brendan was trying to have that. It's just so difficult in that position. I've been in that position, and even though you're out of it, you're sitting there thinking, don't bring the caution out, because it's like you don't want it to come out. Like, you don't want to be the reason this great green flag run ends.
Right.
And like, I don't know if it was going to come out initially. I think he had gotten it going and was not going to bring it out. Michigan iRacing stewards tend to be a little more lenient, but in this case, he kind of half spun again, and that was enough.
Here they come down pit lane. I don't think many drivers stayed out. We did have a couple of drivers that did, but most of these drivers say, I'm going in, and I'm sure a couple of guys that stayed out are the ones trying to get a lap back here. And it looks like, who is that going to be?
Tirana got the lucky dog, and then we've got Francis Hamilton, Joe Berg, and Tristan Helf. I did see Francis pit. I don't know about the 93 and the 38. They might just be trying to get that. As Travis Stroney's going to lead us off pit road, a big jump for him. And I think Jordan McGraw jumped to second. Things change again. And Legacy Motor Club's pit crew exists in iRacing as well as it does in real life as the leader, because he loses 2 spots on pit road.
Yeah, that's crazy. Travis Stroney going to lead us off to the restart here. We have Jordan McGraw. Fantastic pit stop for him. He's going to be P2. Josh Cole in 3rd. Brody Folliker in 4th. And Austin Mitty going to round out your top 5. But take a look who's in P6. It's going to be Matthew Gale.
Yeah, and I think a lot of some of these drivers are playing strategy. Why not? What do they have to lose? Stroney took 2, I believe. Jordan either got a really good pit stop or he took 2 as well. I'm checking his pit stop right now. I believe, nope, he took 2 as well. Good job. A bit of a slow launch out of his box, but he was able to get out and get second. So it'll be interesting. I think they were some of the only ones to take 2. Matthew Gale might have.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, at this point, why not play the strategy? Especially like Gale was running 15th before this caution. Play the strategy, get yourself towards the front. Maybe it'll, and maybe chaos breaks out. Because we're now, what is that we say that we hate?
Cautions breed cautions.
Yep, especially here. And as we've seen what happens on restarts, especially here, chaos guys going for every inch. These cars might not handle, especially the cars that have 35 lap old left side tires against brand new right sides. It could be chaos. And if you're a driver deeper in the pack, take the shot, get yourself to the front. You could be the guy leading coming to the checkered flag, or at least back to another restart.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But as you said, cautions breed cautions. And as you're going through for every inch, trying to get the position, because this is the last part of the race here. This is where it gets messy. Elbows are out, and things happen.
For sure, and I love the strategy call. If you're Travis, if you're Jordan, even if you're Gale a little bit less so because you're kind of stuck back there, but if you can get yourself on the front row, we've seen how critical clean air is. And Travis is going to have the launch from that outside line. Brody Folliker knows how to get it done from the position right behind him, but, you know, clean air is huge. We'll see how big it is coming back to this restart.
You can see him lined up. It's going to be on Travis's call. He is on that outside, which these leaders are loving, and our top 2 guys are on 2 tires, so we'll see how they go. But Jordan McGraw, he's going to need a shove from the driver behind him. It's going to be Josh Cole as he tries to look like he might go in the middle, but he's going to stay down there. Travis also stays down, and here we go.
Yep, and the drivers all staying straight off a corner exit. 3 wide, we got trouble. Around goes Velocity and the 3 of Evan Adams. Velocity pancake the left side into the wall. Ouch.
Evan Adams involved in that. We'll see, and it looks like Matthew Gale might have bounced off the wall a little bit. I have to take another look at it, but just
Indeed.
very, very tight. Very, very tight.
It looked like he bounced it off the wall and lost a little bit of momentum there, and when like the 87 caught there, it just was unfortunate timing. 87 got the left rear of the 67. Luckily didn't spin Gale out. Unfortunately, the 87 around and hard. That's harder hit to the inside wall than I thought. Initially I didn't think it was that bad, but that is a heavy hit for the 87 to the inside wall. Although Evan Adams might have got away relatively scot-free.
Yeah, 87 on pit lane. The 3 is still out there, but I guarantee we're going to see him make his way on down, trying to get those repairs to the car. We'll see if any other drivers come down, but if I'm out front, I'm staying out. That track position means everything.
Oh, for sure. Like, right now, you've made your bed at this point. If you're Travis Stroney, you've made your call. You're not coming back down. You're not, because you won't make it back. Like, unless the mega one happens, like, you're not getting back. Unless a mega accident happens, no chance. You have to choose. You've made your decision. Stay in the front. And especially because you can't second guess yourself either, because what if this works?
Right.
And then you decide, if you pit, then you never know. This is a call that we've seen guys work. A number of guys deeper in the field, not surprised to see them pit. I think a lot of those were wave arounds. And Evan Adams as well coming down. Yep, Fortson Poston, Francis Hamilton, Joe Berg, I believe all were wave around cars along with Tristan Helf. And then Evan Adams, obviously involved in that previous incident, going to get some damage repair. And maybe if he's got a spare set of tires, slap those on, because you will scuff up the, he does have a spare set. And I say that because you do scuff them up and you lose like 7% of the tire when you have to lock them down like that. So if you're already at the back, what do you have to lose?
Man, John Velocity, it looks like he's going to be in there for the long haul with that huge of a hit, but Travis Stroney will lead us off. Looks like the top 19 drivers stayed out. Francis Hamilton going to be the first one to come back out from pitting under caution here. Evan Adams, he is back out on track, so luckily he did not incur a ton of damage. He is able to get back out on track. We'll see if he is driving with any damage as he is back out here. But man, 5th caution of the night. This race is quickly coming to a close, and hopefully we'll go green from here on out.
Indeed, and it's definitely going to be a sprint now, like even more so than it would have been had we stayed green off of the previous restart. We're going to only have, we're on 5 to go right now. I think we'll be at 3 to go when we get the green flag. So not quite a natural green-white checkered, but it is going to be very, very close to that window.
Man, oh man, we might be back to a rookie winning here. Travis Stroney out in the lead. Can he hold on to it? He's going to have Brody Folliker, a previous champion for the Xfinity Series. He is P2. Jordan McGraw in 3rd. That's actually where he started the race. So here he is once again. Josh Cole, we got some fans out here in chat. He is 4th. He's up 16 spots. What we see so far. Austin Mitty is going to round out your top 5 as we get ready to go back to green. It is going to be a little crazy though, Matt. I'm a little nervous.
Well, not as nervous as the guys in the car right now. I can guarantee you that. And not as nervous as the guy pilot of that number 14 Ford out front. It's the correct strategy. He came into the pit 6th. He needed to get the track position and give himself the chance. But if there's one, there are a number of drivers that you don't want to see alongside you on a restart, not for any bad reason, but just because they're so good at the short run and just absolutely throwing everything at it. And one of them drives that 42 car.
We'll see how it goes. But Matthew, I see you out there. Thank you. Smokey says Josh Cole for the win. We'll see what happens. Stroni gonna start us off here on the restart for hopefully what is our final caution of the night. But lights are out on the pace car. He's getting ready to peel off the track, and we'll go back to green.
I may end up watching the final 3 laps through my fingers.
Oh man, I'm nervous. You can see these guys getting on top of each other, ready for this restart. Travis
down slow.
Yeah, here we go.
Green in the wind. He gets a good jump. Brody kind of stays with him. Oh, he stays with the on that left rear quarter panel and pulled the 14 back. Stroni trying to drive down on his door, but Brody's going to clear him into 1.
Man, oh man, Travis, I thought he was going to be able to get a better start than that, but Brody was all over him, and that is going to cost him the lead on the final few laps. And Brody, he is going to be a hard one to pass here. Travis is going to take it a little bit higher than Brody, get that clean air. Meanwhile, Josh Cole is going to be right behind, and he's got the 34 with a bump from behind. We'll see. We're coming up on 2 to go. Man, oh man, Brody's still in the lead. Can Travis catch him?
Possibly, but Brody runs it into the preferred groove. Travis having no choice but to try to do the exact same line, because that is the fast line around Michigan. And unfortunately, not enough as Brody weaving down the back straightaway, trying to break the toe to the Ford into turn 3.
Coming up on the final lap, and I just heard Brody shifting down there, so you can hear that he is trying to get everything he can out of this car for the final lap. Here we go. White flag is out. It is on like Donkey Kong. These guys are going to do everything they can, but I'm not sure that they're going to be able to catch Brody, Matt.
I don't think so. I think Josh Cole would have been the only guy maybe who stood a chance if he could have gotten to second on the restart, and he didn't. Stroni about 6 car lengths behind that 42 down the back straightaway. Josh Cole, Rob Rossello, Jordan McGraw, they can really only watch as that 42 drives into turn 3.
Here we goes, turn 3 for the final lap, and I hear some chaos going on back there, and it looks like Francis Hamilton involved. Meanwhile, Brody Folliker, he is going to be your winner here at Michigan International Speedway. Travis Stroni going to round out P2. Josh Cole, he is in 3rd, a great podium finish. Jordan McGraw going to be 4th. Austin Mitty rounds out your top 5.
Rob Rossello, Jimmy Conker, Jose Ruiz, Andrew Sanford, and Luke Allen complete the top 10 here at Michigan International Speedway. A great job by Brody. What a job on the that was a perfect restart from him. We saw the 14 get out to such a good launch on the previous one. I thought for sure Travis was going to be able to clear him, but he didn't get far enough away from Brody, and Brody got just enough of that good launch where he was able to side draft the left rear quarter panel. It's not as strong as the right rear, but he got enough to pull him back, and then the 4 tires on the bottom against 2 tires up top, that was it.
Yeah, and Brody, we talked about him earlier. He had such a strong showing last week at COTA. Lost out on that win, but he captures it here tonight. So he's got to be super excited. And this is also his first win of season 6.
Indeed, he lost it at the death last week. He gets it back at the death today. What a job by Brody. I know this one's going to feel good after last week.
2 rookies going to be out here, and in the podium finish, we got to get Travis Stroni in here. So we'll get him in here, then we'll go ahead and get Brody. But man, oh man, what a drive. And Brody's got to be so excited celebrating with his FIWB teammates. And I know they were all just at the track yesterday, and I'm sure they had to enjoy that race. But man, oh man, incredible race tonight. And I'll tell you what, that last restart had me on the edge of my seat.
Absolutely. That was a great restart. Brody did everything he needed to do and just got in the clear air. And once he did, it was going to be very hard for any other driver to get back to him unless we had a caution flag. And we didn't get that. Brody drove off to the win.
Here we go, Brody. First win of the season after last week. What does tonight's win mean for you?
Well, hopefully to get some momentum going. It's been such an up and down start to the season, and I'm honestly a little surprised that it's taken this long to get some success. But like I said last week, whenever I was talking to you all, I don't feel like I'm good here, but somehow I always run well, so we'll see how we do. And I didn't think we were gonna win, I'm not gonna lie, but I slid through my pit box on the last stop, and I was like, well, I guess we're taking two. And I'm surprised that everyone didn't take two. I felt like that was the right call. I just didn't really think about it until I slid through the box.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're here. First win in the season. Hopefully we get some more and try to get this championship.
Man, oh man, what a wild race. And you gained 8 spots from where you started. So you had a wild race. What was the most difficult part about Michigan tonight?
Just the air. Same story as with all these big tracks.
Yeah.
It's just so air dependent. The tires didn't really matter too much. I know a lot of my teammates were further back, whether it was the air disrupting the car, but they felt loose, and I was like, man, I wish I could get some of that. I'm super tight, so it was just trying not to heat up the tires too bad, and just searching for clean air. That's really the key for success tonight.
All right. Well, next week we are headed to Pocono. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about Pocono. I might not make it, but hopefully I do. If I make Pocono, I feel like I'm usually good there, so hopefully we can go back to back there.
Well, there you go. Fingers crossed that you can make it out there. But man, what a race tonight. Congratulations on your win. A fantastic finish for you.
Thank you.
All right, Matt, we got rookie Travis Stroney, P2.
Indeed, Travis, Matt, and Eliza up in the booth. Fantastic drive for you today. 2-tire call at the end, got you the track position to get the lead. Just didn't quite get the launch on that last restart. Was there anything else? Was there anything you could have done to get back to the 42 after Brody cleared you out of 2?
Nah, I think they put rocket fuel in that car on the last stop. Once he cleared me, I knew it was going to be hard getting back to him. I thought he was on 4 the way he was driving. But yeah, managing your tires tonight and staying out of the dirty air was definitely the key to being up where I finished.
Was that like kind of why you took 2 on that final stop? Like you were running kind of midway through the top 10, and that felt like that was the call to get you any shot at the top to try to win this race.
Yeah, and just trying to do something different. Usually I fall in line with everybody else's strategy, and I usually am the one to bite the bullet, somehow get caught up, and all of that was for nothing. So I figured track position was important here, especially with how the air was moving around, and I knew I didn't burn my left sides up too bad, so stuck a fresh set of rights on them. And yeah, like I said, once Brody cleared me, I knew it was going to be hard getting back to him, and I mean, he had a great car all night. Him and I were around each other most of the night.
Well, you did a great job. Before I ask you about Pocono, how bad was the dirty air? Because we've seen it in the Cup Series, just how cars will take off. Like real life, we'll see cars just take off up the hill when they get in behind somebody. When they close to like half a car length, they just lose the handle. How bad was it in traffic tonight?
Unbelievable. And to piggyback off what Brody said, he said his teammates were getting loose. I wish I could have found some type of loose. I was tight a majority of the night, and I was just trying to put my car where nobody was and just find my own lane all the way through. And it paid off. So I'm happy. This is the first podium of the season, and I'm hoping to continue it.
Congratulations on that first podium. We do go to Pocono next week. What are your thoughts going to the Tricky Triangle?
Love it. Absolutely love it. Just gonna try and keep the nose clean and keep my right side out of the turn 2 wall.
Yeah, that's personal experience. That's easier said than done. But hopefully you have better luck than I do when we go there, and hopefully we can talk to you again next week. Congratulations on the
I hope
P2,
so.
Travis.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Eliza, and a very strong run from Josh Cole in the number 43, a P3 finish tonight.
Yeah, gaining 17 spots from where he started. Josh, take us through your race and how it went.
I pretty much ran through the field with Rob. Me and him pretty much worked together through to get up there. He was up there with me even on when we were leading for a while. And I noticed late in the run that I was able to save enough fuel to get to the end. So if that last caution didn't come out and it stayed green, I probably would have pulled the win off. But I mean, I had a fast car tonight. I was so happy.
You definitely had a fast card. I know that caution definitely threw a wrench in the plans, but what was the most difficult part of this race for you?
Just trying to find clean air. I mean, my goal throughout pretty much the whole race was just pretty much going where everybody else wasn't. I mean, if I saw a bunch of guys go low, I'd try the high lane. You just gotta work your way around everybody methodically just to find your way up to the front.
With how much speed that you had, I'm kind of curious, is Michigan one of your favorites? Because I'll tell you what, you were very, very fast out here.
I won 2 A-Fix officials this week, and I don't really run officials, but yeah, Michigan, pretty much in any car, I love it. So, I mean, I'm glad to race it.
A great podium finish for sure. I gotta ask, what was one of your favorite battles out here at Michigan?
I mean, I wouldn't say battles-wise. I mean, just I really enjoyed working with Rob. I mean, we felt like we could get around just about anybody. We worked together, and we found both of us running 1-2 for the longest time, and I was just happy to get up there with him.
You had some fans out in chat rooting you on. What about next week at Pocono? Do we like it as much as Michigan?
I wouldn't say as much as Michigan, but Pocono is definitely high up on my board. I do enjoy the Tricky Triangle.
So we might see Josh Cole in winner's circle next week, maybe?
Hey, I mean, if it happens, it happens.
Absolutely. Well, man, I'll tell you what, top 3 finish. That is amazing. Great job tonight. Really, really fun watching you battle it out. And we saw you in the lead. I did see you working with Rob out there, and we weren't even sure that he was going to make it. So great to see him out there. He got a P6 tonight, but great job. And next week, we'll see you at Pocono.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, Matt, what a wild race tonight. We go from the craziness at Coda on the final lap to Michigan, which was just start to finish, absolute insanity of the amount of action that we saw. And then that final restart, man, oh man, I was nervous, but so excited.
Absolutely, and Brody definitely did, bring it back to what Travis said, Brody definitely drove like he was on 4. I completely forgot he was on 2 with how well that 42 was able to take off. It was definitely exciting seeing if we were gonna have one more spin, one more accident that was gonna force another reset and give some of these drivers another shot at it. But glad we got to race it out all the way to the flag, and Brody gets his redemption after Coda last week. So a great finish for them, and we'll see how well these drivers go from here to another relatively high-speed track in Pocono next week.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that is it for us here at Michigan International Speedway. You heard it. We're going to be headed to Pocono next week. We'll be live at 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time next Monday night. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, cheering on your favorite drivers and your broadcasters. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.